Hey!
Oh,
Oh my god!
I was gonna do something and then suddenly went live. Oh crap!
I panicked. I pressed
Whoa!
the button, but yes.
Oo nga pala, you got cut off, no?
Yeah,
Plus, I I started to dance to the music because I was like, wow, this is cool music. This is music to I can paint on. Wait, I can paint with.
All
yes,
right.
yes,
Let me just say.
Hello,
Let me just
everybody.
say.
Yeah,
Let
go
me just
ahead.
say. I'm glad I was wearing. I'm glad I'm wearing shorts.
yes. I'm dressed up for the occasion, but yes, welcome to the first
Welcome
ever
everyone.
stream to Pilipintados baby stream. Woo! Yes.
Woo!
This is milestones, really fun milestones. Today it's just gonna be a really short stream, but we wanted to get folks to get a feel of what it's like to be in a Pilipintados stream for one, and we just wanted to give an update on who we are, who are the people behind the lovely group, and lots of celebrations today. Beyond just the first stream, we've actually going through our second year anniversary, and I believe we hit uh, we hit another milestone, which is 2K, 2K members.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yay! So I'm gonna their soundboards. I'm
But
supposed to
also,
pick.
like, I also want to remind everyone in the stream that while this is a Pilipintados stream, this is the first ever stream of Pilipintados and the first ever stream of Pilipintados with variable play. So that means this is being cross-streamed not just within our humble group, but across all of variable plays social media sites. So for the Tados, look up variable play. There's a lot of hobbies that are tangent to ours that have streams in board
Yes.
games, nerd stuff, local board game communities, and to the variable play community. Welcome to the cult of Pilipintados.
And maybe I'll just insert no. So Louis mentioned the Tados. So for those who are not familiar with Pilipintados, we call ourselves Tados. It's a moniker. I would say it's a term of endearment. So when he says that, he's not really cursing anyone.
Oh, sorry. Yeah, thank you for the clarification. Thank you for the clarification. Thank you,
Because
man.
non-Pilipintados would not know what Tados mean.
Hello to everyone watching. Hello to Ron, to Clint. Thank you for the congratulations. Morgan,
Ah,
Ryan. Hello, everyone.
Yes. All right. So, real quick for the people that are seeing the stream right now, if you want to see your comment live on the stream, you can visit the link StreamYard/Facebook. I'll be posting it on all the comments. You just log in your Facebook, and then your comment's gonna pop up on the feed. So just
Oh,
log in.
and by the way, it is very important for you to comment and be active in the chat because in our first stream, we have 8 prizes to give away as raffle.
Wow. Wow.
Because some of our Pilipintados are very generous, and they committed to a few prizes to give out to this. It's part of the second anniversary, but it now let's see if
it's kind of like
um,
crossbred with the whole variable play thing.
yeah,
Yes,
yeah.
yes.
Ooh, kinky.
And then with the exception of I guess out of the 8 prizes, only 2 are really miniature painting related. The 6 are they're not miniature painting. So if you're not a miniature painter yet, that's fine. And then the two prizes are something that miniature painters would appreciate.
Yeah. I think Mars, I think you could start off by introducing the people in the stream so that people could start talking in the comments.
Yes. So we're gonna start with introductions first because we've been talking here like who the hell is Mars? Who the hell is John? Who the heck are these guys who just came in variable play? What are you doing? So we are the lovely admins of Pilipintados, and the way we're gonna introduce ourselves, really short, name, and of course, in the name of our lovely group, we are gonna declare a Warhammer faction that best represents ourselves and our alignment. So if it's alright, I'll start first for a head start so you guys know what it is, how to go about the introductions. I am Mars. In some TTRPG communities, I'm known as Den Mother. I run a lot of TTRPGs and I do a lot of paints and chills on my Twitch stream, so you guys can check that out. Um, Beyond that, I also I'm just a beginner. I can hear your voices
Yes.
somewhere. So we're gonna start with introductions first because we've been. Oh
Oh
my god, I'm
no!
hearing.
What is this warp magic? What is this
Oh,
witch?
the
what's
Matrix.
happening?
It's a glitch.
What's happening? What's happening?
It's a glitch in the Matrix.
The buffering to Mars.
Ow.
So there's someone's glitchy this week, but yes. So the real quick, my Warhammer faction that best describes me is the Necrons because I feel ancient. I like to
Ah.
sleep. I get really pissed when somebody tries to wake me up. So I'm a Necron. I'm a Necron faction, and my moral alignment it varies from chaotic neutral to chaotic neutral to lawful evil. So that's me. Let's go. Let's go to the other peeps. We have Joshua, Milo, and Louis. Let's go clockwise.
Yeah.
Wow.
Wow, I wasn't prepared for this question, but all right, sure. Hey guys, I'm Josh.
But we know the answer.
Wow, I wasn't prepared for this level of introspection, but okay. I guess in terms of Warhammer faction, I'll go with let's say because I used to be Nurgle. I used to play Nurgle. Now I play Eldar and Kislev. So let's go with that. Let's go with that. Eldar
Wow.
because stylish. I'd like to think that. Um, Color schemes are great. Love the color schemes. Love colors. Love the idea of colors. And I'd say Kislev because I don't know, something about Russia. Let's go with that. Something about Russia and Poland. Something about very severely underused and almost forgotten factions that are making a comeback. Damn right, I'm making a comeback. But
Ah,
yes.
yeah.
So alignment. I don't know. Chaotic, neutral. Yeah, yeah. That sounds about right. So yeah, chaotic neutral.
All right.
Interesting.
Next, we got Milo. Milo in the
Hello.
house.
So my name is Milo. I am the third administrados or admin for Pilipintados. I am based in Iloilo right now. Um, so my Warhammer faction. So I'm not going to go with 40K and Age of Sigmar because I am playing Blood Bowl lately, and I've been addicted to Blood Bowl since the start of the year. So I would say I'm Imperial Nobility. So it's a faction of humans. They are a bashy team. Because I like also the miniatures. They've got a fat one. They've got macho players. So it speaks to me. And I'm actually more of a D&D player or more a DM actually. So I would say my alignment would be lawful good. I am your traditional paladin or cleric of some good deity and will bash evil on its head.
Nice, nice. Fun
Nice.
question from Morgan Gonzalez. Is it safe to assume that the Pilipindados, that's how she spelled it, peeps are Warhammer players? Is it safe to assume?
Not all. Not all.
Not all, not all,
Not all.
but a good number of them are.
Yeah, and eventually you will become a Warhammer player.
Eventually, you're gonna go down that rabbit hole, my friend.
To give a background on Milo, yeah, his background is in board games, and then
Yeah,
from
so
board games,
I was really more of a board game and a Dungeons and Dragons person. So I used the miniatures from the board games to use for Dungeons and Dragons. And as I got more into the painting skill and the technicalities of it, I realized that Warhammer miniatures are one of the best, if not the best, sculpted in the market.
Yeah.
Yes.
And he met Josh because he wanted to learn how to paint Warhammer, and then he saw how it is easy to get into Warhammer in the Philippines. Well, not easy, but he knew how to get into Warhammer, and then
Yeah,
it
yeah.
started. And then
Right.
si
I think
Mars is in D&D. She got into
yes.
Warhammer because she got into
Because of us.
Pilipintados. And she's the one who's asking about our Warhammer alignments all of a sudden. Like, wow, look at this girl.
I've been getting into a lot of Warhammer recently because of friends, and actually Josh got me into like slowly pulling me in 17. But
So,
I get bad influence. But yes, I'm already in. I'm already head first in the. Yes, I think Louis didn't give his introduction yet. So
okay.
I'm a man that needs no introduction. No, I do need introduction. Everyone knows that I love to play. Actually, not a lot of people know what I love to play, but I actually play a lot of uh, non-ultramarine chapter armies. But so it's hard to believe. It's hard to believe. But I use my ultramarine models as proxies for other chapters. But I do.
Blasphemy.
I do I do feel that at heart I am a son of Gilliman. I am a true blue ultramarine Lasallian player. And because of that, I do feel my moral alignment, which falls in with most of my Dungeons and Dragons characters, it is quite or of the neutral good kind talaga. Vanilla sounds, I compensate with, my personality.
Oh, yan guys, narinig mo sa kanya. He's a son of Gulaman, okay? Son of Gulaman.
Anyway, just for record, everyone gave answers. Only Josh was the one who took a stab at someone's answers. So,
yes, that's at the Necrons, bro. You know how the Necrons just started a war with somebody waking them up. Anything can happen.
I mean, I'd start a war with someone who wakes me up, so.
But at least now we're more familiar with who are characters of the stream, and the missing component is Mr. Wilson, who is our Gunpla representative. So
Yep.
for people in the stream, it's basically painting figurines, and you have people from Warhammer backgrounds, miniature backgrounds, board game backgrounds, role-playing backgrounds, and scale model backgrounds, and Japanese model backgrounds or Gunpla backgrounds also. So it's a whole painting hodgepodge.
Well,
So
the other admin, Wilson, is also representing the 3D printing, I guess, overlap, because we also have a lot of 3D printers in Pilipintados. It's a sister hobby, and he is, I think he's also addicted to 3D printing. So he's got two hobbies that he's worried about.
perfect. So now that we all know each other, let's try to break the ice. I'm not sure if it needs being broken, but we do have some questions that our lovely dead mother has provided.
Oh,
So we have, when it comes to painting, we do a lot of things, but I'm sure the four of us at least, and you guys in the comments can also participate, can let us know what are the things that you have never done yet. Parang drinking game minus the drinks. So I myself, I don't think I have ever done the forbidden sip.
iced tea.
The forbidden what?
The forbidden sip is what they call when you have a cup of
Ah.
coffee next to your paint water, and then by mistake you take a sip
Drink
of
it.
your paint water.
Yeah.
I
I
think
do
it's a
that
forbidden
purposefully
dip.
at this point.
I've never
Um,
drank my paint water.
That's because we're not idiots.
Everyone in the comments just like, I don't want to answer now.
How dare you?
Aminin nyo, guys. Aminin nyo. It's happened.
I put my paintbrush in my coffee once, but never, not yet. Never say never. Not yet. Milo, mali mo, bukas, makakainom ka ng paint water.
No, if you look at my place, man, you know me. I'm always organized. Lawful good. Lawful good.
Wala neutral good. I can't even sabotage your lawful goodness. All right. Anyone in the group? Cheers.
Wala pa,
Cheers.
wala pa.
Anyone?
But,
Okay, so-
anyone? Oh,
Paint
Uh,
Gulangan, sabi ni De Guzman Bravo, and Ryan Toledo said
See?
Robot Gulaman.
See?
Yes, that's
Those
oh,
true.
people get it,
Robot
man.
Gulaman.
Those people get it. I think. If I, if I understand what
Yeah,
next
and
question.
Patrick
no, no, no. What
Legaspi
was
said
what was the question again? Next question. Go ahead. Go ahead.
Uh, I don't
Patrick
think.
Legaspi, wait lang.
Oh,
Si Patrick
Patrick.
Legaspi said I haven't drank my paint water because I put alcohol in it.
Oh shit.
So technically,
Very
it's
nice.
spiked now.
Yes, spiked forbidden sip. Oops.
Oh, look, there's a cool question in the comments. Morgan Gonzalez says, was there ever a point in your hobby that you guys say, I have nothing to paint now because you have painted all your minis? Wow, that's a true never have I ever question.
That's a I have no.
No, no, no. See, that is correct. That is correct. After your first miniature,
I was
Yes.
thinking the same thing.
right? But after that, you'll always have what we call the backlog, the gray army,
The
the
dreaded
ones that
back.
are lurking in the ground,
Plastic
and
of the pile of
pile of
shame.
shame.
Plastic pile of shame.
And to give more light to that answer, if you're about to get into this hobby, especially if you're an adult, you suddenly have more money than you have time. So you'll get to buy more because buying is just like 30 minutes, 5 minutes online even, and then painting a
Louis, stop.
miniature. So,
Louis, stop being a bad influence.
I'm sorry. So if you're a kid, if you don't have a job and you have free time, kudos to you if you use it to paint your miniatures. Because we do have Tados who just paint
Yeah.
in their teens,
Yep.
but they
Oh
also
my
Yeah,
have
yeah.
backlogs.
God.
I
Denmark.
think based on
Denmark asked, "Who among you has the most pile of shame?"
Ah, wow, that's a good question.
oh, sorry,
Uh,
I should be pointing this way. I'm pointing this way.
Yeah, this closet, that closet where I'm scanning, that's full of full of models.
I think Louis. Every time there is a Warhammer announcement of a new release, Josh is the most excited, but Louis' credit card is the one who gets damaged.
Parang secretly yung bumibili pero hindi. But
Yeah.
that's where variable play comes in because I know the variable play people can empathize that they have a big backlog also, like us.
Oh yeah, yeah,
If
yeah,
you
yeah.
if
No,
you watch variable streams that from the previous weeks, lagi yung background nila mga board
pile
games.
of.
Oh, parang sa kanila pile of pride na semi-shame. Na ang dami
And
Pile
I'm
of
looking at
Double.
I'm looking at you people.
Honor.
I'm looking at you guys who have Zombie Side, who has the
Ito yung mga
Marvel
naluluto.
United.
Ayan, see, Denmark says we call it a shelf of opportunity. Hindi kami ganun mag-isip. That's really good. That's really good.
Well, no, actually, Louis and I had a wonderful chat the other day talking about backlog, and I told him like I never looked at it as a backlog because a backlog feels like you have a deadline that you have to do it, and it's a production line, right? For some of us who's not into commission painting yet, and it's just pure art, it's not. There's no deadline. In fact, I've got 10, 12 works in progress, and whatever strikes my fancy for that day. Okay, I'm feeling this sci-fi miniature, I'll get it, or I'm feeling this fantasy miniature for D&D, I'll paint this one. So it's more of that. It's more of like giving me options, but it's not really a backlog.
Totoo. Totoo.
Yes, amen.
That's
Preach.
actually interesting. Because like, if tayo, our backlog is like for a pile of shame, and sa mga board game people, how do they, I don't know, to the people in the comments, kung kami, kung eliminate our backlog, we paint it and it's done. How do you consider a board
Okay.
game not
That's a
part of
backlog.
it?
I'll answer that as a board
Okay,
game.
Milo answers that. Yes.
All right.
Yeah, books.
First of all, those boxes that you ordered, especially the Kickstarters, that you haven't even opened yet, they're still sealed. At most, maybe you've opened it, checked it for the content, but never played. Those are the backlogs. Those are the backlogs.
So play with it once, okay na.
Yes, not considered backlog, technically. You played it. And you can always say, I never liked the gameplay.
Daya! Pare,
Ah.
daya. Tayo pag miniature, ay, ayoko yung miniature, pero backlog pa rin yun. Sa
Okay,
akin,
even if you faded it halfway, no, it's still a backlog.
daya.
Si Magelo, si Gui, he said, paano na kung dagdag hobby ang pag-ayos ng work area?
Oh, yan.
Uy,
Hindi
si
mo na
Jello yan.
backlog. Yes, Jello Gui.
Uy,
Oh,
Jello,
yes.
hey man.
Hi, Jel, how are you? You guys have to follow Meta Designs. For some reason, I feel like it's an interior design group and not really a hobby page. Kasi every week may bagong layout yung hobby space niya.
Ah, nice.
Yeah, si Jello, pare, nakakatawa. Pero
Oo.
hobby lang.
O yan, Jello, may
Can I
shoutout ka.
can I break this to give announcement of what are the 8 prizes that we will raffle out?
Oh, yes.
Hopefully,
Yes.
we can
Go ahead.
All right. So we have these are all from Pilipintado members. So we have 5 Game of Thrones inspired T-shirts to be given away. I don't know the sizes, but I'm assuming it's a free size, right? We have 2 Warhammer Conquest magazine that comes with miniatures. Okay, so for those who are Warhammer enthusiasts, this is issue number 30 and issue number 37. For those who are not in Warhammer, you're probably not understanding this. And possibly the best raffle for tonight is 1 kilogram of sweet ham from King Su.
Yeah.
I'm like, okay, where did that come from? But hey, we love ham, we love meat, so sure. Now the reason is the donor Richie King, whose family owns King Su, is a very active member of Pilipintados and the Blood Bowl community. So
Yes,
he
he
has
is.
graciously given us some donation. So stay
Thank you so
tuned
much.
for ham.
Yes. Very good. Actually, you know what, Milo? I think we can go ahead with the first raffle.
Okay, how do we do that? So for that, let's give out a shirt. Bigyan ng t-shirt. By the way, the t-shirts came from Pilipintado member Rafael Gallegos, who has always been giving out some prizes today. Oh, ganda naman ng t-shirt. That's not the shirt we're giving out, by the way.
Yeah, white version.
Yeah. Mars, how do we do this?
Okay, for this one, we'll be taking in all the active comments. You just simply need to do a hashtag hala raffle na, and then we will put your name into consideration for the lovely wheel. Hala raffle na. Hashtag hala raffle na. So that's it. We'll be adding your names for the raffle. Just make sure you comment
Hashtag
that.
hala raffle na. And we have to double check because our stream is showing in both the variable play page
Yeah.
and as well as Pilipintados.
But
So we'll have to
the
double check.
comments here are consolidated, right?
Ah, is it? Okay.
Yeah.
Cool.
You
Gusto
just
ko
have to
maraming
make sure you
nag-issue
have
mga
that
ham. Puro
hashtag.
ham yung mga habulang tao. Gutom na yun.
And we'll also do the whole Wheel of Fortune drawing of names, right?
Yes.
Yes.
Yeah. Cool. All right. So while we're waiting for that, siguro will give 1 more minute before, so
I
that
think
also
Josh
Mars can type the names.
Josh
Yes.
can tell us about the mission, vision, core values, and current
Oh,
membership of Pilipintados.
Yes, indeed.
I'm just following the
So,
flow that you presented.
Yeah, okay. All right. Well, okay. So, quick kind of backstory lang on why Pilipintadas was made in the first place. No? So, it was 2019. I've been doing workshops for painting for a while, no? For Warhammer, actually, I think just Warhammer. I think I hadn't done tutorials for D&D back then, but a lot of people were really interested in the idea of miniature painting, no? Not just from the Warhammer camp. Ang daming tao sa Warhammer who want to learn more about painting, but also friends who I knew played D&D and had miniatures. People from different gaming systems, or just people who collect way too many board games with too many miniatures in them wanted to learn as well. So, me and Milo, because Milo was actually one of my first students when I used to do workshops a lot. So, me and Milo were talking about it, no? And I was like, I kind of want to make a group It's like an umbrella group for the Philippines na puro miniature painters from who play different games, tabletop games, board games, whatever. I want there to be a group that caters to that market na puro miniature painters, no? So we're like, what do we call it? And we went through different names. No, we went through like Mini Manila. That was one of the first names. And then eventually, I think it was Milo who decided, how about Pilipintados? I'm like, oh, wow, Pilipintados. That sounds great. So we made the group on July 29, 2019. Siyempre, I remember. And so ayun, we added so many people from all of these different small groups. And what was great is that, you know, sure, we were giving tips every now and then, but a majority of the content, a majority of the tips and tricks came from the people themselves. Like, you know, you don't need to, you don't need to like go through like formal workshops for this. This is just share what you know or share what you want to know. It's the idea of this group being there for people who want to interact and who want to talk. You know, and not just that, people who were once very hesitant about getting into Warhammer are like, I want to try Warhammer now. I want to do this. Or very hesitant to go into stuff like War Machine. They're like, oh, that looks nice. I like this miniature. I'll go into that. So it's that open avenue. It's that kind of like I don't want to say marketplace, but like a town square of hobbyists and enthusiasts. And that's kind of the thing we're trying to run here, you know? The idea of sharing knowledge, sharing tips, sharing tricks, getting feedback, asking for feedback, and giving your own comments and your own experiences when it comes to the hobby. Especially now that we recognize that because of the current situation, because of the pandemic, more people are staying at home. More people are picking up non-physical hobbies, stuff to do at home. And a big, what we want to think is that a good portion of that are geeks who want to paint their little figures so that their games look nice. So yeah, that's really all Pilipintados is about.
And
Learning
I think
together.
I'll
Yeah.
add to that. So when this Pilipintadas started to snowball,
Mhm.
became a place for us to mingle miniature painting, both experienced and new ones. It grew into something different, and we said, and I think this is the time we added you, Louis, into the group because you were the third into the administrative group. So we would say, um, let's go beyond this, right? Let's make Pilipintadas the brand, or at least the place for the best miniature painters and also the best skills that you can develop, at least for Filipino or Philippines, no? And we were also surprised to see non-Filipinos joining who are based in the Philippines because it's great because it's a very open community in that sense. No? And we said, okay, let's push the level of painting in the country and get ourselves out there. So in fact, I would say in the last 12 months, we are seeing a lot more members of Pilipintados winning global competitions and getting recognitions as well in different.
Shout out
I would
to
say
Terry
areas.
Policarpio, Franz Guerrero in the chat, who are those winners that Milo is talking about right now.
Shout out to my boy Kian Morales, man.
Yeah, where are you in the chat, man?
And my idol to Rochelle
Rochelle Parente, yes.
Parente. Yeah, she was featured in a Warhammer magazine, White
Yeah,
Dwarf.
she was featured on White Dwarf. I think
Yep.
last White Dwarf or two White Dwarfs ago.
Oh, yeah.
I think,
Okay,
Mars,
so-
may mga nanalo na ng ating comment section, no? I think
Oo
may
nga,
ham
sino na?
tayo.
Oo nga.
We
T-shirt
have,
ka, hindi pa tayo yung ham. Hindi pa tayo yung ham. T-shirt pa lang to.
T-shirt pa lang ba?
T-shirt pa lang.
Na-excite ako sa ham.
Excited ka!
Hashtag halaham na, hashtag, mali yung hashtag guys. But I will share now. I got 15 people as of the conversation that listed themselves. That's 15 people. Let me show you guys a lovely screen.
By the way, this raffle is viewed by the DTI representative Louis De Leon. Make sure that everything is done properly.
Sa presinto kayo mag-complain pagkatapos ito.
All right. First T-shirt from Rafael Gallegos goes to.
One
So we just
Pilipintados t-shirt for the Pilipintados VP viewers. Yeah!
Who won?
Let's go.
So,
France,
Guerrero.
Hey!
Uy, di ba accepted ka na?
Let's plug the business of Mr. Franz Guerrero and two other Pilipintados with their Arcos paints. The first Pinoy professional.
Plug talaga eh.
Okay. Unplugged plug to, by the way. Baka mami, isipin natin.
No, I mean on top of that business, on top of that paint line, France is one of the killer painters on freehanding and gun black.
Freehanding, man.
My God, if you are not a member of Pilipintados and you decide to join, look him up. His works are amazing.
Yes.
France, what France does is witchcraft. I will say that now. It's witchcraft.
I have a feeling he just prints the art and then he puts it on the tapos niloloko lang tayo lahat.
Uy, grabe.
I love the comment. I love the comment. Hindi nakakain ng t-shirt eh. Pare, Keo, pag ikaw nanalo ng t-shirt, soli mo ah.
Uy, anong shower scene? Uy, France, anong shower scene? Grabe ka.
Later. All right. Louis, what's the next question?
Okay, so actually the next winner, or are we giving out other winners as the stream goes on?
As we go, we'll break it along. Di tayo tuloy-tuloy na.
Sige. Well, we're the halfway mark of our stream.
We'll end this hour by giving out King Suham. Yeah.
Yeah.
This prize.
How we formulated to I want to make this umbrella group of miniature painters. 2 years later, here's some ham! 2,000 followers! Here's some ham!
Dude, mahal ang karne eh.
Priorities.
Oh my God.
So good that Josh, Milo mentioned the halfway markers. Let's get to our topic. I think a lot of people in the stream would like to know how to get started painting figurines. I say figurines because we paint miniatures, but a lot of us also started to paint bigger models, larger scales, dioramas. If someone were to approach any of you guys and say, Ate Kuya, gusto ko bang paint ng toys? Paano po gawin yan? What's the
Dude, I can imagine a kid tugging your shirt like, Ate Kuya!
Well, to answer your question, Louis, first of all, I would say, what are you doing outside the house?
Where's your mask?
Where's your mask?
Are you vaccinated?
Are you vaccinated? No, you're not. You're a kid. Well,
all right. So maybe Mars, you want to start because I think among the four of us, you are the newest in this hobby.
And you started.
In short, the memory is precious.
You're like a COVID baby in terms of painting miniatures.
Yes, that's true though, because I really started painting talaga when COVID happened. Last year, I was just okay, I'm at home. Sige, all the demons are going yes, go and paint. And I had a lot of I wouldn't say bad influences, but they slowly pushed me towards the hobby. And it actually started. The first thing that really intimidated me when I started out is we're gonna be practical. Some hobbies are expensive, but after some conversations with I actually had a podcast. I-plug ko lang. Podcast namin ni podcast ko, Rolling in the Den. I had a conversation with Joshi where he was like, all hobbies are expensive, period. No matter where you go, every hobby is going to be expensive. You're not going to say, mahal ng Warhammer, hindi ko man ma-afford yan. Or, mahal to. It's depending on your passion and your, everything's going to be expensive. The books are going to be expensive, D&D books. The board games are going to be expensive. So it's a matter of your buy-in. My buy-in was, I want to paint. I am a very frustrated artist. And I really wanted to. And I found it very, de-stressing. And one of the things that kind of pulled me in especially with the Pilipintados. It's like there was a group that was just like, go paint, even if it's just like basing your paints, like just getting to the bare bones basics of just
Mm-hmm.
actually picking up a paintbrush. You don't know what the kinds of paints are. I've made a lot of rookie mistakes in my path in painting. I got paint na hindi acrylic, on airbrush lang. I also got like different, like parang when I did the priming, I put the spray too close, so it's like a thick
Nice.
layer of base. Like
Nice.
it's about trying. That's how you start. You try. You pick up a beanie, even as small as you the D&D minis. Start with those and start with basing. Just paint them all black. That's fine. Don't try white muna. Black muna. Black is okay. Okay, white is so
Yeah.
thick.
By the
So
way,
go for
while we're talking about painting, the chat room has its own conversation about the ham.
Yeah.
Let's shut
Okay,
up. Let's talk about the ham.
Hindi
Eh,
daw nakakain yung
mahalang
paint.
karne. Okay lang yan.
That's true. There is only ham.
Bago mag-ECQ, ham.
Oh, exactly.
Yes.
Louis, answer this.
Um,
Answer the question. How do you
No, but
suggest a person to start?
actually, a nice contrast is let's go to our most experienced person in the group, which is Josh, who started painting what year? What year did you start painting?
Oh God, that was oh no.
Kasi kami ni Milo,
Grade-
medyo backmates kami mag-start.
Yeah,
painting.
Batchmates coming in.
I started collecting slash painting Warhammer in grade school. That was
Yes.
Revealing age.
that
Revealing
was
age.
oh, nga eh. No, well, I think I am the youngest here. I'm 26.
But oldest in
um,
terms of painting.
hello.
Yeah, oldest in terms of painting. That was grade 7 back in, I want to say 2007, 2008. And because of
I realized that.
you know, as any good Filipino geek will tell you, the reason why you got into this hobby is because you went to neutral grounds and you saw Magic the Gathering, and then you saw a shelf that was filled with stuff called Warhammer, and you're like, ano tong Warhammer? Parang maganda to. Dad, can you get me this box of High Elf Sword Masters? Okay. And then I buy the paints. And I buy the paints that are on the box that are like Enchanted Blue, Skull White, Chaos Black,
Lead Belcher.
Lead Belcher, Blood Red, Elf Flesh, no? 6 colors lang, 6 colors. And I'm like, Patrick says,
Valeo happy.
Vallejo.
Ay, magandang color. You know, that's a good color tone, I realize, for painting like skin.
You cannot spell Warhammer. Anyway, so I get the box. So I get the box, no? Put on the paints, just those paints. And I'm like, oh, this is gonna be easy. I look at the picture on the box and I'm like, okay, sure, I'm gonna paint this. And then I'm like, why doesn't it look like the one in the box? Why is my paint so gloppy? And I realized then, oh, there's actually more to this. Because back then, sobrang konti lang yung mga vlogs about it. Sobrang konti lang yung mga blogs about, this hobby. It was like 2007. YouTube was still new. And I'm like, okay, so I need to do my own research, my own practice about this. So, from there, high school, it was a huge hobby for me in high school. Played a lot of Warhammer in high school. I had to stop in college because college. And then, after college, now that I'm earning, now that I have the funds for it, I'm back to playing. Although, honestly, now I'm painting more than playing. And
No.
by saying painting is a bit of an understatement because I have way too much stuff on my backlog. So, yeah.
I think
But
there's
yun.
a question. Yeah, there's a question that I think Milo can answer. Keo Gonzalez says, started painting minis using National Bookstore bought acrylics and persevered with that see-through types. Was that a good start for people to at least try to paint minis?
Yep.
Those off-the-shelf acrylics.
Okay, so for me, my view is if you're starting, any acrylic paint is a good start because it's not about the skill, it's the discipline. Just start it. And
Yeah.
since we're in the Role Play Network, I'm assuming a lot of you have board games and such, and some of them are unpainted. So I actually would suggest that you get one of your board games
Mhm.
and don't paint the heroes, paint the monsters. those
Yeah.
zombies, those bears, those wolves, right? Because if you mess them up, it's okay because they need to look, grisly and bad anyway, right? So reserve your, you know, the better skills that you will develop in the next coming weeks for the heroes of that board game. So that's probably my tip. So for the national bookstore stuff, pwede, you can if you have it already in your house.
Yeah.
So if you can, don't need to pay or spend. But
Yeah.
if you have extra money, I would say about 500 pesos. That's good enough for maybe 3 to 5 things.
This is a
Uh,
600 peso box.
that's 500 bucks, right? That's about 12 things, right? So that's a good starter set. There's also another local paint, Armored Komodo,
Yeah.
which is 100 peso per bottle. Then you have the
Shout out Sir
Vallejo
Alan.
product, which is about 140, which I've been using for a long while before the local products. And then obviously what Josh mentioned, the Citadel or the Games Workshop paints, which a little bit hefty compared to the others, but is possibly one of the better ones in terms of
Yeah.
consistency.
Because
I'd
at the
like to
time, that was
add,
the only one available. Eh.
when I started painting miniatures, I was a little bit brave because I did 2D painting. But someone said, I thought to myself, for sure, painting on a piece of paper would be different from painting on a figure. So before you think about materials, you have to think about what it feels like to touch a 3D object and paint on a 3D object. So this is the first thing I painted. This is the toy soldier. And I used the store-bought National Bookstore paints also. And it's not to scale, it's ugly paint, but it felt so different from leaning on your table and drawing and then holding a figurine and painting. So if you're starting out, that's something you should consider. Before you buy it, it feels different when you write a letter, draw a picture, paint a painting, and also paint a figurine. So that
Actually,
feeling of just holding, try to
Yeah.
get that feeling
that's a
also.
Yeah,
good
but
thing, actually. If you guys have your first figures with you right now, show it to the camera. This is mine.
Oh shit!
This is my very first Eldar Guardian.
Whoa. Oh,
I'll,
wait,
show-
wait,
I'll
okay,
show
I'll
my
get mine. I'll get mine. Excited ako.
I'll just show the
no,
latest
but
one.
one of
The pants.
mine is not with me right now. But one of the things that's beautiful is that if you are starting or about to start or is thinking about to start miniature painting, you don't have to go through the same pain that we went through. We were clueless, asking random people, looking for random websites and random videos. First of all, in YouTube, there are a lot of content creators on painting. And my favorite right now is Louis Loves Minis. Man, I'm gonna
Ah, gonna go, bro. It's now. Okay, gonna
Okay. So, well, there's a lots more. Like we have Zumikito, we have Miniac. There's a lot of content creators, but also you can just drop by Pilipintados, and it's a group that becomes newbies. If you post a newbie question, you will not get trolled or questioned why you're here. You're gonna be answered properly by veteran players, and you'll be open to the hobby and welcome with open arms.
Yeah.
I don't know, guys.
Mark.
Check out.
Oh yeah.
Go, Louis.
So I also wanted to share like the first, not one of the first, but I think Josh would like this very much. But this is the
Oh,
miniature. This is the miniature that brought Pilipintados together.
I think I
This
know what
is
this is.
this is the first miniature
Oh,
that
yeah.
Josh taught me how to paint. This is an Imperial Fist Space Marine.
Yes.
Unbeknownst to most of you, 2 or 3 tables to my right was Milo learning to paint a Blood Angel.
Blood
Space
Angels.
Marine. And we were like, oh, si boss Josh was teaching us. And then like a few
Kuya
months
Josh,
after,
Josh,
and then now we're here.
And then now, who knew a couple of years later? Oops.
Mars,
Yellow
I think
Ultramarine.
it's time for
Yellow
another
Yellow-
feature.
You're not wrong. You're not wrong.
Yeah, you're not wrong. You're not wrong. Yellow Ultramarine, right?
I love yellow.
Mars, I think it's time for another T-shirt.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes, it's time for another lovely raffle. We can spin the wheel. I've just
Oh,
recently added I'm keeping track of all the comments. I'm checking. Hindi ko lang gina-add yung halaham na kay mamaya na yun. Wala yung listahan ng
Baon,
halaham.
baon.
Hindi. When we raffle off the ham, yan dapat yung hashtag.
Yeah, halaham na.
Alaham na.
Oh, and while we're doing this, while we use the word hala a lot of times, just because Pilipintados motto is hala pinta.
Lalala.
Who won? Juno!
Juno deserves a feature. Let's pull up Juno's Instagram. That deserves like a little. I'll try to look
Yeah,
at
little plug, man.
What's his Instagram?
that.
What
Let
is
me
his
search
Instagram?
that. Juno, what's your Instagram? What are the comments? My internet.
I believe it's War Painter.
Yeah, Warp Painter.
Working there. Yeah.
Okay.
Okay.
Let me go look for that.
Let me look for it too.
Do you want to do another T-shirt raffle? Because we have
I think it's
6 more prizes to
yes,
go.
we have one. Yes.
Do
Yeah.
one more T-shirt.
Holy cow! Really
Let me
quick,
just,
guys. This is Juno's Instagram page. I'm not sure if you
Yeah.
can see them.
So Juno has a
I'm
very
Juno-
sporting the Pilipintado shirt on this display photo.
Yes. Juno is amazing at this style called Blanchitsu, which is
Yeah.
basically grungy painting, very grungy, very dirty, with very appealing looking miniatures and
And also,
Man.
we also use limited palette, meaning
limited palette.
using a small number of colors.
So in the States
yeah.
or Europe, they call it Blanchitsu, but in the Philippines, we just call it Juno. That's the style. Oh, you paint like Juno.
Junitsu.
Junotsu.
June is that. Mars, want to raffle out another shirt? Apparently,
Yes.
1 hour is very short.
Yeah, well, it's very short. We have
Oh my
10
God.
minutes.
Let's go. Let me just sorry, Juno. Okay. And next we're gonna add
Ron Villaver says, agree with just getting started. Each mini painted is a little better than the previous one. Agree. But regardless of how it turned out, parang it felt fine and excited to feel played because
So while we do the Wheel of Fortune, what's the next question, Lou, in our
well,
you know?
Congratulations, Teddy De La Cruz.
oh,
Teddy De La Cruz.
congratulations. Teddy De La Cruz,
Yes,
is Teddy De La Cruz
shirt
atado? Is Teddy De La Cruz atado? Kasi if
yes,
it's not
I
a-
saw her.
Wow,
Saw their
okay.
comment. I saw
I'd
their
love to
comment
get
in.
a variable play person win a Pilipintado t-shirt.
Yes, hopefully. Well, we're cleaning out the list. Okay.
No. Just it's something I'd love to see. But anyway.
So I saw in
Okay.
the comments below, Denmark mentioned that his first mini painted was a star spawn from Mansions of Madness, and I think if you have anything like Lovecraftian board games, it's one of the best to paint because it can be grungy, dirty, especially on the monsters. You don't have to be pristine. Even the heroes, right, or the investigators, you can be dirty and muddy because they're out in the mud looking for clues or running away from whatever ghastly
Mga
thing.
Migo, mga Shoggoths.
Yeah.
Very good. Very good. So the next question actually is, so now we're started in the hobby. What are the common struggles a beginner would come across when they're in the hobby? And what's the advice you would give? Wala ate, I'm struggling. What do I do?
Stay at home. Well, one of the first
Sorry,
things.
what was the question? What's the common?
What are the common struggles you encounter as a beginner? And what advice would you give
Oh my
to someone who is experiencing the same thing?
Struggle is real.
Ako, because I get this question, I get this message a lot, no? Kuya, paano ba mag-thin ng paint, no? Paano ba mag-thin ng paint? Kasi I notice my paint is too thick, no? And really, the answer there is just water. And other than water, you want to. A lot of people like saying, a milk consistency, but that's kind of hard to gauge. Ako personally, the best way to describe it is wet enough that it flows well on your palette, but also not so wet that it's just water. It's just call it water, no. So yeah, definitely, and it takes learning talaga. It really does take experience, And the more you do thinning, the more you practice with your water levels and your paint levels, you're going to get it. You eventually will talaga. It really is practice.
All right.
Yes.
So I have a
Actually,
different
sige, go.
common struggle for beginners. Because to be honest, even experienced painters, staining your paint still remains a challenge.
Yep.
Um, I would say the common struggle would be um, uh, stability of your hands and your eyes,
Hmm.
right? 'Cause we would go like,
Mm.
how do you paint your eyes? How do you make so thinner line, right? So when I started, I would paint, holding the miniature in my hand and then the paintbrush, right? But sooner or later, I thought it was like you have to be your eyes should be good, your hand should be steady. But actually, you learn some techniques such as there are methods. Like when I paint, I would do this. So I would put a lot. I have a tripod mentality. I have to have 3 points of articulation, or sorry,
Mhm.
3 points of I would say stable points. Um, as far as getting into the details, you'll have to have that steady. Because when I paint, I don't have my glasses. I take this off. Uh, and then stability is one of the struggles I had to. And when I overcame it, that's when I saw, I'm getting the details, I'm getting the eyes, the lips, the belt, and even freehanding.
Yeah. Uh,
So
and
the comments, someone in the comments asking mode lines and sprue points. You would normally come across using a cutter like this or sanding sticks like this, but a hobby hack that someone told me is to use nail clippers. Like sometimes nail
Ooh.
clippers are faster. They won't do the job completely, but they'll save time clipping a
Hmm.
big part of screw, and then you go with your cutter and your sanding stick. I think that's something that can help people out also. What
Yes.
happened to
Oh,
our jams? I was feeling it, bro.
oh, the jumps, the chill music, and then this no power music. Sorry.
Sorry, John. Didn't mean to put you on the spot. Sorry, sorry. Na-feel ko lang. But
Yung baby.
Someone commented slow breathing and proper bracing helps. Yeah, it really does.
True.
One
Yes.
thing that I like pointing out, especially to new people, is when you're painting your miniature. No, so example, I'm holding the miniature thing here, right? You want to make sure that you're braced with both hands. Ganito, and see this? See my hand here? How
Elbows
it
Oh,
on
is.
your thing.
Elbows
On
on your table. Yan.
or
You
on
know,
like
you don't wanna
the
you don't wanna try to balance your hand like freehand na ganon, or you don't want to like just
rocking
whatever
music.
brace
it's like you're
table.
praying.
It's
You're
like you're
praying.
praying.
Let's make beautiful art.
All right, guys, do your painting posture. Go, do your painting posture, folks.
Once again.
Actually, for my case, a lot of newbies, actually, I think the other hobbyists can also relate if you're a collector or a board gamer. People always seem to ask what to buy. Like everyone says, Kuya, pili ba ang airbrush? What's the best brush? Should I buy ultramarines or should I buy Nurgle? I think before you even buy something or ask anyone about buying something for the hobby, you have to buy ultramarines. No, you have to find out what you want in the hobby. Like I'm sure there are collectors in board gaming communities, right, Milo? So parang people they get into the
Wala,
hobby.
wala, wala.
They're okay with not playing the board game because they just want to
Orders.
collect it, right? So, but then it's
Yes.
the hobby also. There are people who want to buy to play. So, if you're gonna buy something, buy things that will make you win games. But if you're buying to paint, focus on the models you want to paint and collect. So, parang some
Yeah.
people, those lines are blurred. I want to
No,
paint Ultramarines, but I want to play Death Guard. But are you
no,
getting to the hobby to play or to
I'm
paint?
gonna, I'm gonna go,
No
I'm gonna
way.
go, I'm gonna go tangent on this one now. So whenever I buy a board game these days, and normally it has miniatures, right? And my decision making for buying a board game is one, it has to be an awesome standalone board game. Two, I can use the miniatures in D&D or a tabletop role-playing game. And three, the miniatures are amazing to paint. In that way, one purchase, I've got mileage.
Ah. And I think that's a good thing
Multi-purpose.
that you did, Milo. Like you came in before you even made the purchase, you knew what you wanted to get out of it. So when you would buy, sulit na. I think that's one of the key things that you did there. All right,
Yes.
let's give out a shirt. Let's give out a shirt or a hand.
Yes. Okay, let's do one more raffle time. Raffle
Okay.
time.
Kailangan ata natin mag-lightning raffle time. 2 minutes na. We have to give out like...
No, it's
Yeah,
okay.
sunod-sunod na to. So this is still a T-shirt. This is T-shirt number 4. Again, the T-shirt comes from Pilipintados member Rafael Gallegos. Rap.
Let's go.
Binobola, binobola, binobola. At ang nanalo ay
Luis Manor.
Oh, another
Luis Manor!
Luis Manor is a Finisher Friday participant. So we like to celebrate people who finish models and also celebrate people who have them in progress. Luis Manor is the type of person to finish models every Friday. Good job.
we have finished na Fridays and Wednesday whip
Whips.
Wednesday.
or
Whip pala.
week, work in progress. Whip Wednesday.
Whip Wednesday. Yeah.
I don't know what we have in Tuesday. Hindi ba parang ano? It was terrain Tuesday or was it,
We had
tables
weekend.
and tools?
We had action weekend. No.
We had the action weekend, but it kind of fell off.
Because pandemic.
Yeah.
No, this is way before pandemic.
Well, I mean, it was expedited because of the pandemic.
That's true. That's true.
But
We're
speaking of
So-
schedules, Yeah.
5 and 6.
yes, go.
All right.
Speaking of schedules, there's the variable play is a scheduled program, so we don't just do Pilipintados. There's also other
Oh
content.
no, who won?
Oh,
Terry!
I'm so close.
Kaya, dapat mag-share na sila with France. France and Terry are...
Alam mo, next time sa raffle, dapat mga Arcus paints na lilitaw.
Terry and France made Arcus paints. And now they have a t-shirt. Daya, bro. Daya.
All right. So this one is a Warhammer Conquest issue number 30. We will not disclose. The donor did not want to be disclosed, but man, you know who you are. Thank you.
Yes,
Ryan!
Ryan!
Congratulations! You
Congratulations.
won the Warhammer Conquest magazine and figure. Well, figures.
So by the way, this stream is really meant to talk about the hobby and not to just raffle out prizes. Because I feel, half of the time we were just raffling out prizes.
Thank you for saying that, Milo. So if you have questions, ask in the questions or else we'll
Yeah,
just
guys,
talk
feel
about
free to
ourselves.
ask.
Right. So we're down to last 2 prizes. So maybe let's have a few more chat. Let people waiting for the ham wait for a bit more.
Oh, wow. Okay. So
But the next
let's talk
one is going to be Warhammer Conquest 37.
So people who don't know what Warhammer
You guys can
Conquest
Google.
is, it's like Google the Warhammer Conquest. Solid yun.
Next question, please.
How do you motivate yourself when you're painting?
I have the best answer for that, pare. You hobby every day
Yeah.
to keep the screws away.
But that's not easy to do. Like everyone wants to hobby every day. But what are your techniques to do? But since you mentioned my tagline, I'll share something that I recently started doing. I go home really, really tired. So believe it or not, around this time I'm asleep. So that I wake up at 4 a.m. and I start
Wow.
the day doing the thing I love the most. So I wake up and I paint. That's the first thing that I do. And then when I get
Malamang-
there, I'm in a good
Malamang
mood.
late ka lagi. Late ka,
Yes.
no?
Yeah. But
I just have to finish this eyes! God damn his eyes!
but not as much kasi may penalty pag nalilate sa trabaho. but normally kasi people paint when they get home to relax.
Yeah.
But lately
Yes.
I've been so tired and I fall asleep and I don't enjoy painting anymore. And then I just shifted schedules and then I enjoyed it again, painting. Yun.
Ikaw, Mars, how do you maintain motivation in painting?
I think it's a mix of things. One is I really do make it a point to make it a de-stressor. Like whenever I feel stressed at work, I pick up. It's my it's I treat it as therapy as compared to I want to do this for fun. It's like this is a way for me to unwind
Yeah.
and relax.
Yeah.
The other thing as well is like example, a friend gave me a box to paint. And like I trust you, we're friends here, and there's like this kind of like, oh, I have to do well in this. So there's like a motivator to want to finish this for my friend. It's different if you buy the mini for yourself. That's fine. But it's
That's
a
true.
completely different thing if it's a friend going like, "Hey, I trust you with my dark angels and my chaos cultists. Here you go." And it's just like, parang isang taon na to ah. Sa akin so I make it just put a schedule and like example I find it very enjoyable like every Thursday bago mag-finish na Fridays. May natatapos ako. Like
Yeah,
actually,
good job, good job.
Yeah. See, it works. Finish it on Friday works.
Good job.
Yeah,
Good job.
I have to have something on Friday. I'm so excited to show the stuff and like the little improvements you make, like when you start to pick up on like doing the same thing again and again, especially
Yeah.
with painting the same army, like say the same scheme, the color schemes. When you start doing it again and again, you get very confident that I can do a better edge lighting here. I can do like better
Very
base
nice.
here. It's not
Yeah.
that thick anymore. Yay! Mga ganon. So the small and like celebrate the little victories you have. Even just learning a technique, celebrate it. That will motivate you.
That's
It's
very true.
So for me, I have three. Like one is the schedule, right? So for me, after the baby sleeps, after all the chores, usually 9 o'clock to 12 is like my
Yeah,
me
that's
time.
good.
This is where I normally I paint, but every now and then I insert like my Marvel Champions or my Cthulhu Death May Die. So I would play my board games as well because it's different therapy. Recently, I got into Blood Bowl, so I joined the Philippine League for that. So it's kind of my me
Nice.
time, but I would say almost every day I would do something related to
Hobby
miniature
related.
painting.
Boom.
Yeah, exactly. So I would prime, I would assemble, I would organize my paints. So anything related to that. One and the second one is what Marsh mentioned, which is you know target something of a learning. So ito yung sinasabi na um, uh, yung intentional learning. So for example, I want this month I want to practice what is called object source lighting. So this is the fancy, way to show that a flame passes to your to the skin
Yes.
of the miniature, diba? So deliberate learning is one of the things that can motivate you. And it's right. Mars would say, as you see progress moving forward from the one mini to the next, you just get motivated more. And then after that, you go, okay, after OSL, what's next, right? And my third tip, or at least the third way I look at it, is personally, this is me. I have to be attracted to the lore. I'm not a person. I'm not a person who paints something that I don't have a lore on. And even if it's a random miniature, like a 3D printed miniature, while I'm painting it, Mars knows this. On a D&D perspective, I'm trying to create a background. I'm trying to come up with a character sheet on this guy. All right, I think this is a neutral evil kind of guy. Okay, lime green.
Before we get to Josh, let's just do some shout outs in the comments. We have interesting comments here about Jess saying he listens to Black Library audiobooks because that helps him with inspiration and motivation.
Oh,
for
yeah.
painting. That's
Yeah,
right. Very
good choice. Yeah.
We have some people who schedule, like Ron Villaver tries to schedule painting this week, and also Juan Miguel Pereña, who regularly submits in her Finish the Friday threads. He paints at least one mini per week, and he learns
And
a
I-
new technique every Friday.
And,
Thank you, man.
and he joined the Warhammer challenge last month, which was a big challenge for where the winner won. He won both categories, right?
Yeah, he
not
did.
Jared. not the guy.
And,
Nico. That was
Nico Noel, yeah.
Nico one. And
Okay.
one Facebook user finds inspiration through the arts of others. Yeah.
Yep.
Very nice, very nice. How about you,
And
Josh?
you just have to visit Pilipintados for inspiration. By the way, there's a lot of good
There was
good painters there.
like dati, it was only like a couple of people who you would see like really really good paint jobs, and because you can learn a lot even from even from people who have been starting out. There are things that you will learn from them as well. Na o nga no, I might be at this level na, but I want to know how you did those feathers. I want to know how you did those those your base. That's really good. But for me personally, because admittedly I haven't been painting in a while. I'm kind of very busy with my day job, but what I like doing at least is when I paint something, I want to make sure that one, I learn something about a very specific skill. Like right now, I'm on a tear for I know for clone troopers because I'm painting for Star Wars Legion, and yeah, Louis knows. But for this one, I want to kind of master the art of white. That sounds vaguely bigoted, but I want to master painting NMM white, non-metallic metal white, because it makes me focus on it. It makes me focus on I want to get better at this, and not just
Yep.
because I want to show it off, but it's a personal victory. If I master this, if I master itong what I'm doing, I will be happy. I don't care if people see it and they like it or they don't. As long as I'm happy and it contributes to my own growth, that's great.
Yeah.
Speaking of the clone troopers, now, I recently found this really, really good guide on how to do ultra realism when it comes to miniatures, and I've been applying that for my faces, sa clone troopers. That's another thing that I really, really tried to focus on. So yeah, for me, it's focus. It's
Yeah.
satisfying what I want to see.
And I think you put a good point. So since we are not just in Pilipintados here, but we're also in the Variable Play Network, for board games, playing painted miniatures add a level of immersion into your game. No? Also, it also helps in identification of the miniatures faster, because if they're all like gray or red, whose miniature is this? It's hard, right? So painting your miniatures not only make it look badass, but also allows you some efficiency and productivity in terms of, oh, I can identify this. For example, in one of the big games like Simon, like the Blood Rage games, right? They all look the same. They all look the same. But if you paint them properly, it's not, this is the Wolf Clan, this is the Bear Clan. So easy to store, easy to set up, easy to play with. So it's one of the advantages of a painted board game.
Good point. Good point. Oh, I think we should give out a shirt.
No, not the shirt. Pare,
sorry.
tapos na tayo sa shirt. Ang labo mo, tapos na tayo
Calm
sa shirt.
down, Willie Revilla, man. Calm
Okay,
down.
so our seventh and second to the last prize is a Warhammer Conquest number 37. So Louis doesn't even know, he just shouts.
No, dude. That sounds good, dude.
Warhammer
Number
Conquest
37.
37. Uy, ang ganda.
Yeah,
Terrain.
Oh, ganda niyan pa.
that's good.
Terrain.
And again, the donor did not want to be disclosed, but dude, thank you for the generosity. All right, so
Conquest. What is that?
oh,
Let me just.
she's
Yes,
she's
please.
looking for it.
Yes. Warhammer Conquest
Not
Issue-
37.
yeah.
37.
star like 7.
Yeah, number 37.
It's-
For those of you who don't know,
Yeah.
in some countries around the world, they can subscribe to Warhammer and they get sent Warhammer every week.
Magazine
What?
plus miniatures.
Lore.
Magazine
Yeah.
plus miniature.
Yeah.
And 37 is
There you
terrain,
go.
scenery,
Terrains.
buildings,
Oh.
broken buildings.
So
I
terrains
need
is
that.
amazing. So amazing. So if you're playing Dungeons and Dragons, you know this. If you're DM, you need terrains to just spice it up a bit. If you're playing board games such as Zombicide, this would be good because you'll be able to make some partition along the board, and it's not just flat. Okay, not that.
Yeah, no.
Speaking of
Yeah,
terrain,
yeah, so-
na commercial shout out rin to a terrain company that just got launched.
Yeah.
So this
That's
is
also
3D
local.
printed.
Uh-huh.
Yeah, this is local, so it's good for a bigger scale. So very nice terrain also. Let's roll.
It's good for
that,
historicals. It's good for
Yeah.
D&D. It's good for fantasy. Good for sci-fi.
for diorama.
Yeah, that's a good spread, actually. That's a good spread. All right, so the winner for Warhammer Conquest number 37, Not the Ham, is...
37 pieces of ham? Oh my god. Yun yung mga prizes.
Oh,
Morgan Gonzalez!
Morgan!
Very lucky, very lucky. Always
Congratulations.
nice to have
I'm low key jealous, but congratulations.
Yeah, dude. Yeah, dude. Like, it's nice to have pictures of your miniatures, but also nice to have pictures of your miniatures with like nice terrain at the back.
Yeah.
Sobrang solid yan. Sobrang solid yan.
And I think we are running out of time, so it's a good test drive, so we would know how many prizes to give out in an hour or an hour and a half. So,
Yes.
Mars, you want to jump to the ham, and then we go to the closing.
Yeah.
Yes. But
All right,
before
so-
that,
okay.
send pa shout po Frederick Lopez.
Yeah, what's up, Mr. Frederick yan? Friday finisher rin yan.
Oh. All right. So again, the ham is from King Sue, from Pilipintados member Richie King. Oh. Ito na. Ham na. By the way, wait, before you roll, there is just a condition. The person who wins has to be in the Greater Manila area.
Yeah. That's
Actually, they can't ship it in Mindanao or Visayas, unfortunately, because the ham, pagdating na sa'yo, pare, iba na yan. Iba na yung itsura niya.
Parang everyone naman, I think, is in the Greater
So, if you win and you're not in the Greater Manila area, honest the system, pare. And if you do, I promise you, I'll exchange it for something else.
There you go.
32 millimeter scale na ham.
Hala, ham na. Hala, ham na.
Allah, ham na! Bagong moto.
Roni.
Ronnie Gunaran!
Ronnie Cunanan Gonzalez. Congratulations on winning ham!
You're the first person to win ham in the Pilipintado event. So,
No.
no,
In a
sorry.
variable play network.
No.
In the Viable Play Network at the very least.
Yeah.
No,
We
it's not
did give
that.
out ham.
No,
We did give out ham in the
for a prize, as a prize, for a painting
Yeah, we give
contest. So I can imagine the conversation with spouse or the significant other. So what did you get with that miniature painting live stream? I got a ham.
Or kumbaga kung si Mrs. nagmamain-main si Mrs. sa mga sapatos, sa sa mga bag. Yung si Mr. naman, halam na.
But I have to tell you, if you go to your wife and say, honey, I just want a ham. Pare, ang guwapo mo.
Oh, Morgan and Ronnie are husband and wife.
Oh!
Nice. Perfect.
Congratulations! Thank you for pointing it out, Mr. Denmark. Wow, dude.
Oh, and yeah,
Couples.
since we brought up the topic of challenges, no, yeah, in Pilipintados we have monthly painting challenges. We have 2 of them each month. Kind of like a way to challenge the people and maybe give them new ideas of what to paint that month or what to do. Like, we just finished the Warhammer challenge. We just finished our anniversary challenge, our anniversary event rather. Before that, we had what did we have? Star Wars. Yeah, we had Star Wars. And this month, should I tell them what this month is? Because it's already
Go ahead. It's already
Okay.
tomorrow.
So, for everyone, especially people in Pilipintados, our August painting challenge will be 1 bases. So, painting bases, painting, painting,
Bases, not vases. Bases.
not vases, guys, bases. So,
Mga base. Yan.
and our second challenge for this month will be painting busts. So, if you've ever want to painted, what Milo's holding right now, that'll be a challenge. So, yeah.
Very good, very good. So thank you so much for joining our first ever stream. Actually, do you have any
There's
questions?
a lesson to be learned here. In the next VP live stream with prizes, make sure your wife, your husband, your kids, your yayas log in.
In the whole
You
uncle.
will get more chances to win.
Yung buong ganyan na. Sa amin yan, the more chances of winning.
Patrick, bases only. Ideally with figure But basta best base.
Yeah.
Best base.
The judging is on basis.
Judging is on basis.
Ah.
If you can integrate the base with the model, even better.
Mm.
Yeah.
Anyway, it's a community voting naman, so iba.
Indeed, indeed.
All right.
Alright.
So final question.
Well, I think for people here, just for people to know, this is a trial for us Tados. We're very new to the streaming thing. Compared to the other Variable Play Network content creators, we're very humbled to be part of the network. With that, Tados, please go and raid the VP group, join it, and then watch the other content creators there. They have
Yeah.
other stuff. Like
Mike,
Soy is talking about the hobby in general, the Philippines. You also have Sir Freddy talking about local board games
shout
being
out Sir
published here.
Freddy.
Yeah, with Mikey Cuento also. So there's a hodgepodge of other stuff. There's more to life than painting. There's variable play also. So look for variable play and look at that also.
Siya malay nyo, the board games they talk about might have miniatures that you might want to check out and add to your backlog.
But I'll have to say, this is the only VP show which we give out ham.
Yeah.
So far. So to the other shows, kailangan
You
na
gotta
natin.
step up your game, man.
Our viewers need rice. So baka gusto niya magambag na
Five,
natin.
first show, 8 prizes. Come on, guys.
Yes.
Yeah.
Next stream night.
Actually, alam mo, kung game streamer ako, I'd be like, sige, pamimigay ko na lang yung mga Kickstarter ko na di ginagamit. Oh, di ba? Pamigay nyo na yan. Baka nanonood ka na. Manonood ako.
Oh no, the Kickstarter rabbit hole.
Oh no.
So, we'll
Well,
try
okay,
to
so,
do this one.
I don't know. Are we gonna do this? When is the next stream, if ever?
There are streams every week for various other content creators. There are at least 3 to 4 shows every week. But for the Pilipintados, we'll try to do one once a month on the minimum. And
Yep.
then as we go by, maybe dumalas, maybe hindi. But we'll promise you at least in the coming months, one stream.
Yeah.
Not necessarily one ham, but at least one stream.
Well, you'll never know.
We're looking forward to
But also,
more
siguro
happen.
ganito,
Ani naman
maybe
sa susunod.
if the VP network or members have a specific topic they want to discuss about miniature painting, you can give us that suggestion, and we might take that as the next episode if we next month.
If you
Or
guys
paint
want live,
stream.
live paint streams, live paint tutorials, we can all be
Yes.
painting one thing and then paint it in our own style and explain what we're doing.
Or we could be painting while we were drinking alcohol and getting wasted and see who has the worst job.
Basta keep it clean. No shirts are on. Let's not take a bath on the.
Oh wow! Right,
Yeah.
rich coming from you, Louis.
So I want a special mention as well.
Okay, wait. I like this this topic that Denmark posted. Your top 10
Oh.
board game miniatures.
Oh, no!
Oh. That's a good
Well,
one. That's a good
And
one.
I think that's a topic close to my heart.
That's a good one. That's a good one.
I can pull out all the other board
Ayan,
games.
How to
how
paint
to paint
cubes.
cubes. Okay, yeah, that's a good one. Let's put it in the back. Actually, I also want to special mention Tado Ron and Tado Denmark. There are new family members, but they have been the starters of variable play, and also with Tado Javi. They started this whole thing. They were, I think, for a couple of years back, they started VP as a website, making content. They evolved into making an actual con, man. And they got people to play board games. And then now they're doing streaming. And then now they're helping us give away Hub. So it's very cool that you're part. So to the Tados here, you're part of that history today in this first stream. So congrats, everyone. I think that deserves a round of applause.
We close up, and how do we do this? Do we do the Pilipintados kind of thing?
Okay, paano ba? Wala tayong ano. Wala,
How do we do this properly?
I don't know.
Oh no, she froze.
Did I freeze?
Our title is Halapinta, so we can just say Halapinta.
Well, let's do this. I'll just clap 3 times and we all just say halapenta.
All
Right.
right.
1, 2, 3. Halapenta!
All right.
Woo!
Kudos. Thanks for the stream.
Thank you guys so much.
Bye-bye. Enjoy your evening. Enjoy painting.
Oh,
Keep
Now,
painting.
now we paint.
Yeah, reach out to us for the
PM for the
prizes.
streams. PM for the prizes. PM for
Oh,
the
Yes.
by the way, for the prizes, I will send a PM to you. And for those who are not Pilipintados, I'll look you up in Facebook.
Yes.
I'll find you.
Alright.
I'll find you. And I will deliver ham to Miss Ronnie Cunanan Gonzalez.
Bye, everyone.
Bye, guys.
Halapinta, guys.
Halapinta.
Halapinta.